Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another custom campaign. Hoping for something worth experiencing this time around. And so hopefully this won't wind up in the shit campaign playlist. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So I have the Avenger here. This is created Y iRing. Yes, Y, not by. He seems to have made a typo in his README, or maybe I accidentally deleted that while reading this last time and also saved? I don't know why I would do that, but whatever. There is a README. It's fairly comprehensive. It talks about music files as well as sounds and like who belongs what. But apparently there is going to be some voice acting in this campaign. Very exciting. And yeah, it says it was for all Starcraft fans. Well, we'll probably prove that one wrong. Campaign was made using the Starcraft campaign editor, Arsenal 3, and Win MPQ. So there was some modding. I've already detached the MPQ because I had to plug it into Firegraph exe for one, so I could add the whole AI debug plugin and shit campaign it the way that I do, but also because it was using an older method of packing exes. It was a self-executing MPQ file, I assume made with either Arsenal 3's functionality, or it was made with like MPQ Draft, which was an older program that you used to make those back in the Windows XP days. Looks like there's about 10 missions to this, one of which is an interlude. Oh yeah, there's 9L and 9C. I don't know what the fuck the distinction is there, but yeah. There you go. So that's the introduction anyway. iRing has not made anything other than this. And like I said, there's nothing exceptional in the MPQ file. There's no AI script or even iScript or even UScript file in there. There's only ARR/units.dat, so we can't really expect anything spectacular. But that's okay. Let's go to the custom campaign section. And yeah, we will just begin our journey here, as we can see, somewhere around nothing. What a fucking meta title for StarCraft custom content. Oh yeah, I didn't say when this was created, so I guess I should say that much. Hold on. Let me consult the very up-to-date custom campaign listing. It was made in 2006, so not an ancient project, but also not very modern. The defeat of the Overmind has left a shattered ire that struggles for survival. Join us as we enter this forgotten story. A fairly small map to start us off. Hopefully there's gameplay. Mission 1. Somewhere around nothing.
Oh
no.
I come to you in times of need. In our usual patrolling of the fields of planet Ire, we have lost contact with one of our groups. We fear that they may have fallen to the Zerg remnants of this area. I ask of you, command a small convoy of warriors and locate the missing patrol. The brave Zerg Colaban will bring his support to his task. May the Kola be with you.
Looks like his noise removal cut out in the last half of that dialogue transmission, but hey, short and to the point. And you know what? Like I say, man, bad at voice acting, or in this case, poorly processed voice acting, is better than no voice acting. Although I think Lomalaris, that was his name in text. It sounded like he just said Lomaris, which is a more reasonable name. What was the zealot's name? Cordovan or something? That's a color. I don't know what his zealot's name was, but yeah, he needed to be a bit more firm and loud. Again, people just simply cannot seem to normalize their audio ever. Locate the missing Protoss patrol. All right, Lomalaris, Lomananus. Oh, Micro. What? Oh shit. Okay, you got it, man. I'll get rid of that for you because I'm sure you're upset about that. Nice. Love me some Micro. I agree. They will not wait to die. What does that line even mean? They will not wait to die. I will not wait to die. Alright, we're microing our little heart out here, trying to meet this Dark Templar.
Our units have been shadowed by these foul beasts.
Fool. It doesn't sound like the people who were putting this together were native English speakers. But, okay. Hey, at least it didn't pause me yet. I might actually have a brain tumor because for whatever reason, I just had to think it for a second. Like, wait, did it pause me? Like, it might have actually paused me. Hi. Thanks. Oh, they almost had some real voice acting here. Holy shit, I have probes! Yeah, this really could have just been a cutscene. Also, my Nexus is, I think, asininely far away from my mineral line, but whatever.
Escape has been cut by the local circles of the east. Our only chance is to request support from our main army.
What exactly is your plan, warrior?
Hey, you're the character. You come up with the plan. I'm glad there's subtitles. Holy shit.
We shall prepare a reinforced to open a breach and allow me to send a distress signal.
I am very glad that there's subtitles. Send a distress signal by transporting Colovan to the abandoned fleet beacon. Oh, cool. I actually own fleet beacons. That's the only structure along with the Arbiter Tribunal I can't get from the start. So this guy has already figured out that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be disabling tech that people have learned how to use for a long time. Of course, the fleet beacon is invincible and in the middle of everything else. I'm surprised I don't have to repower it as well. But hey, I'll take it, man. I have a fairly strong number of starting forces as well. Though unfortunately my hero is not color-coded, so I guess we'll drop a save. What are my saves anyway? We have some serious saves. We have Wuck 34, Wuck 3s, Wuck 3, Wuck 3L, Wucker, Audby, Mongol S, and Todd. So at some point I should probably delete those, but whatever. At least we've revisited history now. So yeah. One of the things that I've been wanting to do this for a while, but between the insanity of the coronavirus fiasco that we're dealing with now and everything else that I've been trying to catch up on as of late, I actually have not been able to make enough Brood War custom content, playthrough content at all. Compared to what I was initially expecting, I was expecting to have 2 or 3 videos up per week, where I'm averaging 1 for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So that's fine, you know, the projections get updated, and I've been able to get other content done anyway, so it hasn't been a complete bust. But I will say that I do plan to be a little bit more productive in this particular realm, and I also want to be a bit more useful as well. I don't want it to just be that I'm playing content for the sake of like, oh, here's some content that you can watch brainlessly and then hear me react like a fucking ape or something. Like, for me, that doesn't cut it. And the reason why I'm not doing conventional Let's Play streams as often anymore is precisely because I didn't think that content really provided enough value for me to engage in doing it for a long period of time in the first place. And so one of the things that I do want to start doing a bit more of is talking about actual hard-hitting, like, critical analysis, and hopefully promoting that in the context of the conversations that happen around custom content, trying to be the change that I see or want to see in the world in that sense. Now, I've already done that to a pretty extensive degree in the past with my reviews, where I'm actually the only person I've seen who actually produces reviews for custom campaigns. Obviously, if that is incorrect, feel free to send me, hey. So yeah, that's something where I feel like, you know, there's a sheer lack in general, like a pretty significant lack of content there, and it's valuable content in my opinion. It's content that people can actually learn from and improve as a result of. And it's content that, like, yeah, you could get content regarding, you know, game design. Maybe you could get, like, critical content, critical analysis about game design. I haven't actually seen too much of that either. But, you know, you could obviously take lessons from other games or other genres as well, like other mediums, I should say. You could say, hey, actually, let's do let's do a bunch of stuff about like let's learn how like people conceptualize movies and that sort of thing, and try to extrapolate based on that. Maybe that could work. You know, that's basically what I had to do because there really isn't that much content out there, and so I'm trying to help facilitate a growth of that sort of thing, so that people have less pain points when it comes to translating that sort of stuff. Hopefully that's a purpose that I can serve with my content, and that's what I'm going to be trying to do. So a little bit less on the overall, like, how am I feeling about the game, and probably a little bit less focus on gameplay. Like, as you can see right now, I'm basically doing nothing. I'm still just talking, waiting for my point to finish so that I can spend a little bit more brain power on actually planning and doing stuff. I guess I'll scout around now. But yeah, generally speaking, I want to be able to come away with each video that I produce in this kind of space, in this kind of genre, with the sort of takeaway that, hey, I'm actually producing content that is worthwhile, that isn't just like, oh, here's some content I'll watch because I'm bored and it'll entertain me because of some silliness, more so than anything. Which is pretty much the only niche that I feel like my content was consistently valuable in, is making people like laugh in insanity and react with mixed play. Obviously, we're doing it offline now, so mixed play is no longer a crutch I can rely on. And yeah, as a result, I want to challenge myself to provide more value to you guys. That's exactly what I'm aiming to do. So in that vein, I guess blue and orange are both on the island. So this is a classic case where our very first map prevents us from really doing too much in the vein of engaging directly with our enemy. We have to go through an island. Islands are components of maps. They're not really meant to be like the centerpiece necessarily. And when they are centerpieces, that's usually when something has gone horribly wrong and you have nothing else to provide. Generally, maybe that's a little bit too, assigning to malice what can easily be explained by just ignorance or stupidity, as the old proverb or adage or whatever you would call it goes. And so that's one of those situations where I would say maybe it isn't exactly that. Maybe there is a little bit more going on. But as far as I'm concerned, when game developers throw gimmicks at you, and obviously I'm not accusing Ireng, the creator here, of throwing gimmicks at us deliberately, because I don't actually know how well-versed he was with game design, how experienced he was. Usually people are not very experienced in that sense. So yeah, when people are starting out or whatever, they're bound to make some mistakes, and they're bound to perhaps feel insecure, and as a result they throw gimmicks at you for the sake of trying to avoid manifesting that insecurity, or being exposed as somebody who doesn't necessarily have all the ideas that are necessary. On the podcast that I do with Mesk, the Big Boys Table, we talk about this all the time, how there's really not much of an excuse to put so much stock in ideas. Ideas themselves are not that important or magnificent, and in general, you are better off not worrying about them at all, because execution matters a lot more. And so in this case, if your idea was what you were worried about, you could have done something differently. You obviously could have done a different, gone down a different path than what we just witnessed. And what we are playing right now, because I struggle to say that I'm actually playing anything. I'm obviously able to go on long diatribes and not really, speak much about anything in particular. I'm able to just more or less sit here and not really do anything intelligently. Certainly not be particularly, aggressive or focused, or I don't even have the ability to be that aggressive because there's a lot of pre-play stuff over there, and so on and so forth. By the way, much like my CSGO map analysis video series, I'm sure I will be hitting on a lot of familiar points. So if you've already experienced me talking about a lot of the same stuff, then don't expect it to radically change in this particular context. Oh yeah, my camera hotkeys are not going to be accurately set. So yeah. But remember that this campaign was targeted as something that would be for all fans of StarCraft, and here we have an unreachable mineral field which means my workers are going to spin forever. Oh, nice, nice mineral counts, by the way. So, now we have to sit here and eventually scout out with the observer I'm about to grab. What a mess. There's really not much for us to actually do right now, even though we are players who have played this game for a while, right? We're all of us collectively are an audience that has experienced a lot about this game and a lot of custom content within this game, as well as the official content. And we're at least familiar with Melee, even if we haven't actually played it. You know, we've watched some pro games, we've, you know, taken a dive into Melee map balancing and all the design philosophy surrounding that. We are tangentially familiar, at the very least, with some of the more, you know, impactful, significant elements of the whole ordeal. And here we are, not able to put to use any of the knowledge that we have. We're not able to weaponize any of our... Oops. Whatever. Any of our lessons that we've learned down the years. And as a result, we're gonna, you know, not be challenged. You know, my optimal level of play is significantly higher than what you're seeing right now, but I don't even have the ability to facilitate that within... Or rather, this campaign does not provide me with the ability to do that. This campaign does not facilitate me actually learning and or me demonstrating my actual potential anywhere close to it. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm a great player, by the way. Anybody who's watched me play on Fraud Night knows I'm not very good, but I'm much better than this is making me seem. And it's just that I'm not engaged at all, which is why you see, you know, the level of play that you're witnessing right now. And so, yeah. Oh, I forgot that guy existed. I got very scared for a moment. And that's more or less where we find ourselves right now. So because we are you know, fairly limited on resource efficiency in this map, and because we're about to run out of money as well, I'm not going to get more than 4 gateways. And because obviously we have to ferry our units in a very micro APM intensive setup, I'm not going to, you know, expect too much here. I am going to land over here and hope that I don't get destroyed by some borrowed units. And I'm going to queue up another... Oh, Archons are disabled arbitrarily. Well, in that case, we'll just go back to doing that. Yeah, so points off for that, man. I assume I should be experiencing some sort of threat from the players that are on the map, but I feel very much alone. I feel very much like the only player on the map right now, because there is nothing happening. You know, I'm the only one actually doing it. So, that's great. I have 1 Dark Templar, so that's cool. I don't know what that Dark Templar is doing. Off we go. I can't believe he disabled, just flat out deadpan disabled Archons. That's hilarious. Alright, we're almost done here. We'll go after this and just ferry the rest of our units over.
Research complete.
Looks like this is actually either a main base or at least a central outpost. Alright, perfect. Of course, there's pre-placed havens. I don't know about this one. Guess I should order more Dragoons. And send more Dragoons. It's pretty sick shit over here, boys. I think we figured it out, though. I like how he placed Niduses, even though those can't even be used by the AI. And yes, that is real. Alright, cool. Reinforcements showed up. I guess I should have gotten a Robo Bay, or a Robo Support Bay, just for the sake of... Ah, shit. Oh! Perfect. I don't know what he's saying, by the way. If there's not subtitles, I cannot understand the voice acting.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Oh yeah, I have to bring my hero to the Fleet Beacon or something as well. So clearly the AI broke. They attacked me once each, or twice, maybe? Honestly, don't remember. They barely did anything after that, and they had so many pre-placed units too. So you know it's not for lack of Oh! Well, we'll just leave that simulation where it lies. Alright. Just about done clearing this out. Oh wow. Not only that, but our army seems to have made some pretty good headway into Orange's base. Alright. Bring this guy over here. We'll save just because I don't want to have to lose the map after that. But yeah, this was a very subpar start for what we would actually want. We would want a decently sized map, even this size map, but where we actually had to use the map. Another element of this experience so far that has been incredibly underwhelming has been the fact that we're sitting here not actually using most of what the map has to offer in terms of space. So we're just sitting here slowly chipping away at all of this pre-placed shit. And, you know, okay, great. But...
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Make use of me.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole top part of the map is completely useless. Maybe there's an expansion on the island over there. Or down here or something, I didn't check. But... Alright.
All ships in the area, this is Colovan. We need help to defend from overwhelming circles. Anyone come with us?
Oh, okay. Iring proudly presents you his protest campaign, the Avenger. Okay. Thanks, Iring. Honestly, you know, remember when my reaction was, when we ended up getting a base, right? And my reaction was, wow, that whole micro opener could have been a cinematic. Well, honestly, that whole fucking opening mission could have been a cinematic. Like, what did we really gain from that? The first mission of any campaign is often touted as, well, really, like the first anything, first chapter of a book or whatever, is often touted as the hardest because you have to do so much. Much like if you consider like a trilogy of books or movies or any sort of like saga where you have the first installment of something, like that's also touted as kind of the most difficult one because you have a lot of setup, but you also want to be able to not only introduce things, like this is acting as an introductory piece as setup for future installments, and it's supposed to be satisfactory in and of itself. All three of those components aren't necessarily going to be reflected. I mean, the satisfactory one is, right? Like, so we could translate that into being objectively worth your time. That is a situation where we're looking at this sort of position and we're saying, okay, well, the first mission needs to be worth our time, but it also needs to set up the future missions, and it needs to introduce us to the characters and the objectives and the stakes and the kind of like give us some sort of first thought as to how we're supposed to be taking this project and, you know, how would you characterize it? So if this is clearly meant to be a serious campaign, so we would hope that the voice acting would be better to better direct us that it's serious. I'm not yet sure if it's going to be one of those very slapstick flame knife style campaigns with a lot of dialogue, like it's going to evolve into that, because obviously standards are almost non-existent in custom content, and you get a lot of very strange projects like After Brood War, where things just wildly change half the time, and sometimes you have like weird cringe cutscenes, and other times you have just like one mission briefing or one dialogue line in mission briefing style stuff. So that's more like what this was. The latter of that is more like what this was so far. Obviously, we only play one map, and there's like I said, 10 or 11 maps in this, 9 of which, or 10 of which I guess, are playable. So with that being said, it's one of those things that we're immediately looking at and we're saying, okay, well, what exactly are we going to be looking at here for the rest of the campaign? Like, what kind of expectation does this give us? So far, it has not been good as far as respecting the player's time and actually engaging the player. And that first mission feels like it was really, like I said, it could have been summed up in a cutscene, because there was no engagement and there was no impact to the experience. And so what it actually happens in the story of that mission is Colivan, why is his name Colivan? It's dangerously close to Colin Man, walks into a base in a microsection after killing 2 Zerglings, and then he orders in about 60 zealots and 2 shuttles, and he wipes the entire map. And there was never any point where I was at risk of dying. Ironically, even my hero was fine the entire time. There was that one interesting part where 3 Hydralisks flanked me because Zerg campaign easy and transports and island maps, but that was obviously emergent gameplay from the AI and not something that was deliberately designed by the author. Nor was it really like clever level design either. It's just like a byproduct, a happy accident, if you will. I based on everything else in the map, rather, I would not attribute that sort of experience or that particular instance of gameplay to the designer themselves. Maybe they saw it and thought, oh, that's cool. But yeah, not. I don't think it was deliberate. So, right now we have layouts that are not great as far as the terrain goes, and we have really no idea when we're going to be engaged in this campaign as far as the gameplay goes. We also have shown a propensity for micro sections. Hopefully that doesn't devolve into full-blown micro missions or other psychotic gimmicks. And we've also disabled like Archons and Carriers and Arbiters. So hopefully we only get more tech as the gameplay progresses and it doesn't pull a Brood War on us and start disabling shit like Stargates in one mission just because. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the first mission. Let's move on. This mission contains custom music. I set the game speed to 5.7 normal. How about no? Mission 2, Stargazers. They never tell you if the briefing has custom music or not. So I'll just leave this on until otherwise noted.
Rachel, Colaban, I present my deepest apologies for putting you into such an adverse situation.
Oh, not Educator. For his arrival step and arriving with the fleet in time.
Certainly, I will lead the rescue fleet myself. Unfortunately, our estimated arrival time is 25 minutes. I must ask of you that you hold your ground until we arrive.
We have prepared ourselves for a Zerg attack in near ideal. The color will give us the strength to resist.
String it. Even when he's supposed to be yelling for a dune, he sounds so bored and maybe even timid, like scared of being loud. I mean, it's the same voice actor, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I have the README open and it has the voice cast. Yeah, literally everybody besides the Avenger, Zealot, and Dragoon is listed as Ireng. So there's apparently 3 different characters that are actual characters that he voice acted, and the rest are all like, Terran or Protoss units or whatever. So defend them from the Zerg attacks for 25 minutes. Well, remember when I was saying we were hoping for no gimmicks? At least we start with a base this time. Oh, wow, he gave me 2 different warnings. I'm not adjusting the game speed, by the way. The AI debug plugin makes it impossible to do that anyway. But I'm not doing that. Why would I? Oh, at least all our mineral fields are accessible this time. I think this is Final Fantasy music. There's some list of shit like that in the credits. Alright, so if you haven't figured it out yet, my intention is, of course, not to sit here and do nothing. It is to actually push out and kill the Zerg. At least if nothing else, we will expose whether or not this person has decided to put a lot of hard stops in our capacity to do something like that. Hopefully that is not the case. So we don't start out with any gas, which is fine. We do start out with a lot of pre-placed assets, though. I'm still getting my bearings as far as that is concerned. That guy just walked right up. Nice guy. Colavan is a different man now, different color. Oops. Fuck that guy. Alright, some more zealots. We got plenty of supplies so we can burn through some of the minerals that we have while we wait. Oh, we started with +1. Well, that's unfortunate. Anytime we started with like a bunch of random assets, it's pretty silly. Why is there a Kakaru? Why can I never escape crows? So, I've talked about this before too. What are pre-placed assets and like how do they fit into this whole design decision and conversation about this sort of thing? Generally speaking, you don't want to pre-place a lot of stuff for the player such that we end up experiencing what I would like to call like a starter map start lag. And that's exactly what we're experiencing right now. We're getting to the point where we have some issues dealing with the fact that I have to figure out where our like basically what our weak points are and where we need to watch out for enemies. And that's you know, it's whatever, but that should be part of scouting, and there should actually be an early game, and it's very clear that the temptation to just prank us, tell a story, oh that sucks, is something that absorbed. Why are there Scourge running after us over here? Oh, I'm getting ensnared again. So I guess he didn't explicitly prevent us from moving out here. Just made it annoying to do so. Dude, fuck off! Why? Yeah, clearly they are not on, I don't know what the fuck is going on here, actually. It's fine. Unfortunately, I lost my my man. So. They have something weird going on for the AI on this map. We also have a lot of gas, so I guess I should pull some of these guys off. Wait for Citadel money. But yeah, you don't want to start players off where they're struggling to figure out like what exactly is going on for their pre-placed junk, as far as that is concerned. Again, look at this. Like first of all, excuse me, but he's actually just spawning in these guys now, right? Holy moly! I gotta say, I was not expecting that. So I guess if you lose your scout in the early game or don't replace him in the early game, you're basically fucked. So there's nothing that I can do about that. So we'll have to go ahead and restart. Maybe the reason why he tells you to set your game speed to low is because of something related to his triggers? I can't imagine that's really the case, though. I think we can still get through this. All we have to do is like set up the defensive line a little early. I certainly don't want to have to sit here and play the developer-approved way when you're being disrespected this way. This is my instinct. Try and disallow that as much as possible. You know, the biggest issue here is that we have basically no income potential. So, again, very distinct gameplay loop from what you would be hoping for with Starcraft. And yeah, while I'm sure it's totally feasible to employ a more conventional strategy where you basically suck your thumb for 25 minutes instead of actually playing the game, that is obviously not what I'm looking for. Again, we're not starting off very strong here in this particular campaign. First mission was gimmick until it was boring, and this mission is boring if you don't succumb to the gimmick, which is not really any better. So Should have enough for another cannon pretty soon. Put it up by one tile. We are missing out on mineral income from having this probe down here, but whatever. Well, that was unfortunate. Why are they not attacking me? What a mess. Yeah. Imagine starting out with upgrades and research. I mean, that's what we have, but... Yeah, I guess we kind of need reavers. The problem is, like, I need to keep the scout alive. And there is that psychotic flock of enslaved birds that roll in and try to suicide onto my expansion, question mark? I can't really call it an expansion. You know. Get a couple more minerals. Notice I'm entirely omitting the idea of getting gas in this instance. Fuck. Why are they using run set suicide or whatever the fuck they're using on queens of all things? How embarrassing. Alright, we got a couple of zealots. And then, did my probe die? A horrible death. Holy shit, I heard that click and I thought somebody was in my room or something. What the f- That is just from his dialogue. Yeah, that one. It's from his unit response. That's irresponsible, man. Can't even read my audio correct. Alright. We'll get somewhere here, guys, I guarantee it. We're now starting to get gas, which means slowly but surely we'll be in business. I guess I'll probably slap a pylon down over in this direction. And here comes the Tism. Perfect. That went much better. Even though we drained all of our shield battery energy immediately. Okay. Really? Spin forever. Oh wait, no, that was Warcraft 3, Sleep Forever. That's actually a command in AI. I'm only assuming that that was a spawned attack wave. It's impossible to know for sure. Oh, they have Devourers. I honestly was not expecting that. This might be my end. End of my scout, anyway. Fuck. Why? Fuck. Tism. Oh wait. I need a citadel really badly. I guess I'll grab a singularity charge.
Not enough minerals. Awaiting command.
Thanks. Really appreciate your assistance. You fuck. Why are they just sitting there? What is wrong with them? You like how that game metagames your command? What a prankster. Oh shit! Well, you know what they say. Sometimes you win and sometimes you fucking suck, dude. This is also like a super linear level too, just based on like, it's like a 1v3 or something like that, and I'm still almost holding on, despite my really poor efficiency on my strategy. Alright, we'll eventually get that upgrade, I promise. Not even sure if it's worth it. Don't do that. Thanks. I wonder what happens if I just attack this with the scout. I don't even know if I can. There might be a sport colony right behind it. I'm sure that'll end well. I mean, the AI might not give a fuck. Seems to be the case. Perfect. Oh wow, this map was made in such an old version that sunken colonies have 400 health, or maybe that's just a slight buff. You never know. You never know with custom content. Like I said, there wasn't ever really any position where people were trying to make a consistent effort to make content that followed the same standards. Closest you had was campaign creations, at least to telling people to do voice acting and basic modding. But I like how that's pretty good. They prepared an attack, and they targeted something entirely pointless. Really, I should slap like a small early warning system over here or something. Not that it matters, because they're using some weird non-standard triggered script or something like that instead of the AI attack move, I'm pretty sure. I guess I could be wrong about that, because they did seem to bring overlords with most of the attacks, but some of them were like so bizarre, like that psychotic whatever that attack was that happened. The one with like 3 guardians. That almost certainly was not like a regular attack from the AI script that is as passive as this otherwise. Hey look, it's the same thing, but... Executed. It's okay, it's almost dead. It's almost gone. Oh, fuck! You pieces of shit! What a valuable scout that was. Listen, you do not sound very impressive. You do not sound very invested in this at all. Your AI doesn't even work properly. I've won this without upgrading because you give me +1 upgrades for no reason. You didn't even write any custom AI. Your AI isn't even fucking defending itself. You actually spawned everything in. What the fuck? Don't open this map and tell me, please, I don't want to suffer any more than I already have by playing it. It really does feel like they were doing fuck all of this. They clearly were using the scripted AI sequences, but why they are not defending right now is fucking anybody's guess, man. Why there are cause is also anybody's guess. Why are there cause? Why? Why did I have 6 mineral fields this entire time? Why? Oh. I thought I heard a crow death sound, actually. Must have been those. Epic. Well, I don't think I need to say much more about the fact that we haven't been engaged this entire time, because we have not been engaged this entire time. Oh, they are mining. Okay. They also are not defending this area, though. And they have a bunch of idle drones, which tells me that they definitely broke. I guess I could have Archoned. Or I'll at least see if we can build Archons in the first place. Hi. Where did those even come from? Did we just see a spawned enemy? I must have... Yeah, because I just looked over there and it was all, what a meanie. It was all, whatever it was, larva the entire time. Oh, we still can't make Archons. Why? Why does this guy hate Archons? Why am I not streaming this so somebody can mix-play Archons? Oh, these guys seem to be actively doing something. They're not actively upgrading, holy moly. Anyway, we killed one of them. So there's that. Man, judging by the layout of this map, this is not something that he ever wanted players to see. Holy moly. Like the base layout that he gave these AI Mongols. Also, this music has been entirely unfitting the whole time. I'm sorry, but... Why? Why would you pick this music?
Warriors have engaged the enemy. What now costs?
Executed. Executed. Oh shit! Hey, if we still get attacked by blue units later on, we definitely know it was spawned. Well, you were saying. Holy moly. Well, now that's embarrassing. And this is one of those situations that will definitely inform my decision to not continue playing anymore. Like, at what point do I just decide, hey, maybe I gave your campaign way too much time already, and you haven't proven to me anything? I mean, players are prospective players just looking to see what this campaign is all about can make their own determinations. But all I'm seeing right now is a whole load of shit. So yeah, pretty boring, pretty unfortunate too, because it didn't have to be this way. Blue literally has nothing on the map anymore, and I'm still getting attacked by him. Hi.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Man, what if somebody died after this whole thing happened? Wait, did those units really just suicide? The fleet hasn't come. What can we do? I guess is this its way of pranking me? Making me go fight the rest of the Zerg anyway? Maybe this is just a bit and it'll resolve itself after some time.
We are under attack.
Why? Whatever. I mean, I could, you know, I could put an Nexus there, but I'm pretty sure that's the spawn location for all the blue units. So it'll just get destroyed anyway. You didn't even waypoint the units correctly, man. Well, we'll give it a shot. Hey, maybe it's telling me I need to build a fleet beacon or something. I don't know. At this point, it's just a Hail Mary, man. Whatever. Whatever might work.
You've not enough minerals. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Wow. Well, at least they only killed the probe and not the base. Pranked.
We are under attack. My life for iron. You've not enough minerals. You've not enough minerals. We are under attack.
Of course, that means that they'll probably still attack the probes, or just random shit like that, I guess.
We are under attack.
I really have no idea what it wants me to do. So. Hi. Don't mind me. Dude, holy fuck, they actually are just spawning shit on me. Maybe I'm supposed to lose? Is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Male Terran, by the way. Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks for gimmicking me. Oh, okay, but it just removes my buildings too. Couldn't even hear that guy talk. I think he said something about his dropships being useful. Man, what a fucking mess. Why is every campaign like this? I thought I was going to have to like build a fleet beacon or I was going to have to die, and neither of those options were reasonable considering the situation we were in. Meanwhile, we're still in a situation where we've got to deal with some Deus Ex Machina coming out of nowhere, and like, why, man? Why gimmick it? StarCraft is a perfectly reasonable premise for gameplay. Melee is perfectly reasonable as a starting point. No, it's not balanced. Yes, it requires really stupid map design decisions to make it balanced at the absolute highest level as far as ladder goes. But you don't have to worry about that because your target probably isn't going to be really high ladder players unless you yourself are a high ladder player in terms of skill, not necessarily actual, like, active playing on ladder. So you don't have to worry about that. You just make maps that are fair on an experiential level where you're playing it And you maybe obviously that it helps to get somebody other than you to test it, because if you yourself made the map, you probably at least have prior knowledge over somebody else who's just coming in completely blind. But even without that, you can still design it such that the AI summons a fucking motorcycle, so that the AI is relatively, to some extent, requires you to scout it out in order to figure out what strategy it's going, and then adapt to it. Like, there's plenty of strategies that are very telegraphed in StarCraft Ladder, but still require such an insanely high execution rate, as far as like being able to a high level of execution in terms of skill to counter that strategy, even if you do scout it out at an appropriate time. And in that sense, scouting is important, but even once you know what it is, it's not like you immediately can hard counter it, because that's not the kind of game StarCraft is. Like, there's so many good things to point out about StarCraft's default ladder PvP game, experience, player versus player experience. And no, you do not have to play towards the highest level or design your content towards the highest level, but you can design your content to deliberately make you as a developer improve at the game and become better in order to beat it. And when you're in a situation like that, but you're also following the design precepts of somebody who gives a shit about fairness and gives a shit about making sure that the people who are playing are not having their time wasted, and they're not having to like wait until they find the magic solution, the developer approved strategy in order to win. And your objectives are fairly clear the entire way through. All this stuff that this campaign and many campaigns that I've played in the past, pretty much all the campaigns I've played in the past, just seem to flaunt. They just fuck off. Fuck off standards. We don't need you. Zerg Raiders, by the way. Holy moly. All right, well, that is going to do it. This has been shit campaigned. I guess the next map is a turn map. That's map 3. You can go and play it yourself if you want, but I think I've demonstrated enough of this campaign, and I think it has been useful in the sense of like sharpening my skill set as far as attempting to actually dive into real analysis and educational content. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or whatever, obviously you know how to reach me. And yeah, that has been it. That's been me. Bye.